Boruto Tubula Vortex, Chapter 15. Now, I do have a video breaking this down, so I'll leave it down in the description, but essentially, it can be divided into 3 separate parts. So we learn how Shinki becomes a tree, we let the Shinju meet the new Shinju, and then Boruto and Kawaki kind of have a conversation. So the first part, we start this chapter off with a flashback of Gaara and Shinki and some of the other Sand Shinobi fighting against the Moegi Shinju, and we see that Gaara's kind of hurt in the fight against her, and he's basically on his last leg, like he's not going to be able to keep going. But he will do as much as he can to let the other shinobi get away, so Shinki and the other 2 shinobi that are there. So Gaara is essentially sacrificing himself for the next generation. But what ends up happening is Shinki saves Gaara at the last second, okay? And he does it by using his magnet sand jutsu, and he kind of encases Gaara in a magnet sand ball where he's still injured, but he's like protected, like nobody can get in. So then in that fight, Shinki gets bitten by a claw grime and turns into a tree, and even after turning into a tree, the magnet ball is still there. So that's how Shinki kind of becomes a tree. And we see Shikamaru and Kankuro then talking back and forth about what info do they have about the trees, or how can he help, or how the circumstances have come to be. So they understand that Shinki is still alive, but he's in the tree. Gaara's in the magnet ball, but they can't get in there unless they free Shinki. So they're going to free Shinki first and then save Gaara. And they want to know, do you know how to do it? And Shikamaru's kind of telling them, like, this is still a new situation. We know some things, not everything. We're going to get to that. But as for right now, we'll share as much info as I can with you when the time is right. And we see that Kashin Koji's toad is still in Shikamaru's office. So it's more than likely that Kashin Koji is feeding Shikamaru information that will help them later on. So then we cut over to the Shinju meeting the new Shinju named Ryu. And upon their first, interaction, Ryu is kind of like, hold on, let's wait a second here. And he grabs code that's spying on them. So he kind of grabs them through this black box, and it kind of works the same way as the claw marks, and where they can see or teleport each other. So he grabs code that was spying on them, and Code's just kind of and they're like, Code, it's so good to see you. Thank you for kind of giving us life, but what are you doing, creep? And then Code's kind of quite concerned. He's like, Jura, or he's talking to the Shinju. He's like, why aren't you guys going after the Otsutsuki? And Jura's kind of like, that we're still going after them, but right now we're kind of doing our own thing. So you just butt out, and thank you for giving us life, but hey, it's all over. It's over. We're doing our own thing, whatever we want to do. And Code's like, yeah, right. So he goes into one of his claw marks to try to hurt Jura, and then Jura cuts off his hand, and Code's like, ah! And then he wraps it up in a claw mark bandage, and then he's kind of like, ugh, darn it. And Jura tells him, all right, here, we'll make you a deal, Code. You will get the chakra fruit if you defeat Boruto and his comrades, meaning basically Kashin Koji, whoever's working with Boruto. And Code's like, fine, I'll do it. I'll defeat them. Laugh now while you can, because in the end, it's me who's going to have the last laugh. So he kind of disappears, does his own thing, and they have a newfound understanding. Code's going to go after Boruto and Kashin Koji, and the other Shinju are going to do whatever they want. So then we kind of see them talking to each other, and Ryu's like, next time I see him, can I kill him? And everybody's like, you can do whatever you want to do, but first, look inside your heart, look inside your feelings. Who do you want to devour? And Ryu, aka Shinki's Shinju, is kind of saying, I want the 5th Kazekage, Gaara. So that's who they're going after next. And then we cut over to Boruto and Kawaki talking to each other. Boruto's back in the village, and he's having a conversation with Kawaki. And Kawaki's kind of curious. He's like, why didn't you tell on me? And Boruto has to explain that, well, if I told somebody, some would believe me, some would believe you. There would be division and confusion amongst the village, and it's easier for everybody to assume that I'm still the rogue ninja, and we all work towards defeating the enemy, together. And so he's like, I saw that you can't control your karma when I activated it. That has something to do with Momoshiki, doesn't it? You can't control him. He's still a problem. And Boruto explains that 2 years ago when Sasuke turned into a tree, he did use the karma, or he kind of activated it. And in that moment, he sensed that if he did it again, or if he used his karma in that moment like he did, Momoshiki would possess him again and he would be unable to stop him. So it would kind of work like you get possessed by a ghost and you can kind of see everything that's going on, but you're not in control. And slowly, the longer that the ghost stays inside you, you'll start to die, you know? And that's basically Boruto's position. So if he uses the karma, Momoshiki will take over, and Boruto will slowly die the longer Momoshiki's in his body, and that's no good for anybody. So then Boruto kind of leads Kawaki down the path of like, but what's more important is Jura, or these Shinjus. I need your help to defeat them. I can't do it alone. I can't fight Jura alone because he'll kill me, because that's what Kashin Koji has seen, and I need your support. I need your help. And Kawaki's kind of like, they are a problem, but because they are from the Otsutsuki, Boruto. You're an Otsutsuki. They're part of the Otsutsuki. Code is part of the Otsutsuki. Like, they're still evil, and I'm still going to kill all of them. But the way things are now, I agree with you. And so Boruto tells them that, alright, now in order to defeat these guys, I'm going to have to tell you a little secret now. And Kawaki's like, what are you talking about? And Boruto tells him that Amado has basically been keeping Kawaki's true power from him. So he's essentially put limiters on like his attacking force. So that's why he was losing to Boruto. It's why he was losing to Jura and Hidari. It's why he can't like physically overpower or fight anybody like he used to. Like, remember when he was like, just came back, he was able to beat everybody. But now he's in a position where he's like, he's unable to fight. He's not as strong as he should be. And that's because Amado's holding him back. He put limiters on his strength, and he put like maximum focused on like his regenerative abilities, on like his defense. So defensively, Kawaki can take a hit, or he'll be able to regenerate or be just fine. But offensively, he's weak. And Amado can see Kawaki. Like, he's using Kawaki's eye as like a camera. So he can see whatever Kawaki sees. And he's like, Boruto, how does he know that? And then he has like a quick remembrance of like when Kawaki destroyed Kashin Koji's toad. And he's like, how is he still alive? How is Kashin Koji still alive? And even if he was alive, what are his motives now? What is he doing? So eventually Kawaki and Boruto form an alliance. They form a partnership, and Kawaki's kind of telling him that, fine, I'll do whatever it takes to defeat those things, even partnering with you. And Boruto's like, okay. So they have a newfound understanding, and moving forward, they're going to be working together. And Boruto tells Kawaki, don't hold me back. And then Kawaki tells him, you neither, jerk. And that's where the chapter ends. And I really like this chapter because it's just everybody coming to new understandings in the places that they are. So Boruto and Kawaki form an alliance. The Shinju form an alliance with Code, where it's like, you defeat Boruto and such, and we'll give you the chakra fruit. And then it's Shikamaru and Kankuro forming an alliance, the Sand Village and the Hidden Leaf Village, to save Gaara and them. So it's everybody forming partnerships and moving forward with the story. I think it's cool. As for action, there really wasn't all that much. It was basically the beginning, which was more so Shinki getting bit and protecting Gaara. We didn't actually see the full like confrontation with Moegi's Shinju. And then obviously Code got his hand chopped off, but you know, it was just like a quick moment. It wasn't like a huge fight or anything. So it was pretty good action-wise. A little like, just a little sprinkle, nothing crazy. In terms of characters, it's just characters making new alliances. We get to meet the new Shinju Ryu and his detection ability. He grabs Code and stuff like that. I thought that was interesting. We learned who his main target is Gaara, so I think that makes sense. And then everybody making alliances like changes everything in the world. Now it's the Hidden Sand Village and the Hidden Leaf Village. It's now just the Konoha problem. And then Boruto and Kawaki making an alliance is beneficial to the world. So now Kawaki's not just going to be trying to kill Boruto every single chance he gets. Now they're going to be working towards a common goal. And now Code is working for the Shinju, and they're all just, it's all new alliances. I think that's cool. And then the ending is Boruto and Kawaki kind of like being brothers or standing toe-to-toe against each other and kind of saying like, hey, don't get in my way. You know, don't hold me back. And he's like, you either. And so I thought that was a nice little a nice little conclusion to the chapter, you know. Moving forward, it's going to be a lot more interesting to see how they proceed. So, until then, overall, I give the chapter an 8.3 out of 10. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you guys all next time. Yeah.